Welcome in, everybody. This is game number 2 of our doubleheader. And leading it off here, that's David Anderson. That ball nearly caught there by Tyler Prince. So Anderson was 3 for 11 so far in this series. Your pitcher, it's Tanner Gaff, getting the start here in game number 2. Gaff up in this count 0-2. Tanner, a 3.55 ERA. This is his 7th appearance of the season. In 12.2 innings pitched, he's given up 11 hits, 9 runs, 5 earned, 10 walks, 11 strikeouts. Opposing hitters batting .224 against Tanner. Gaff, just a junior from Columbia City, Indiana.
Hey, right here, kid, right here, pound the zone.
Tanner listed at 6'4", 220. Tyler Prince out in the field at first. It's Justice Tussing at second. Brady Harris and Caden Sullivan at third. The catcher is Matt Ballmer. Harris over to Prince for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down here for Gaff. Last time out against Bethel. Picked up the victory. It's going to bring up Sam Newkirk, shortstop, freshman shortstop. In the outfield, we got Jack Harris, Frymuth in center, Mikhail McCown in right. Big swing and a miss for the freshman. 2 for 8 in this series with 2 runs and an RBI. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. Newkirk played a good shortstop there in game number 2 of the series, 1 of the day. Call it game 2. It's the final game of the series. Grace took the first one, 17-13. And the second one, 9-8. Check swing goes around for out number 2. First strikeout of the game for Tanner Gaff. That'll bring the plate the number 3 batter, Houston Haney. DH here in game number 2. Haney, all Crossroads League honorable mention last year. Just a sophomore. Counts evened up at 1 apiece.
Come on, Cap.
Tanner, who pinch hit in game number 1. So reaching first is Haney on the hit by a pitch. That'll bring up Xavier Harris. Harris was phenomenal there in game number 2. He was 2 for 3 with 2 RBI, 2 runs scored.
Yeah, way to go.
He was also hit by a pitch in that game. 0-1's a count.
Oh, yeah, let's go, Gaff. Come out 2
Here with 2 outs and Haney at first.
There you go. Hey, it's your play, kid. Let's go. Own it. Come on, 2-5. Let's go, kid.
Junior. Then I put one there. Bethel? Yeah, with me. Yeah, you did.
Slight lead at first there for Haney. Gaff up in this count 1 and 2.
Come on now. Come on, Gaff. Hey, you found it. Oh, yeah. Fill it up.
Lady Cougar softball team losing 8-0 in 5 innings in game number 1 against Marion. Brina Smith pitching a 1-hitter. It was Lizzie Meyer who got the hit for St. Francis.
It's like a needle in a haystack.
It's like a maze over there, man.
Gaff with 2 strikeouts. In the top of the first, we'll head to the bottom of the first. Scoreless here at the World Baseball Academy.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting me up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Craw. Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Knipscher. Shot scores.
The rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
Leading it off here for St. Francis will be Mikhail McCowan, Tyler Prince, and Noah Frymuth. Mikhail 5 for 11 with 4 runs scored and 4 RBI in this series. Your pitcher is Logan Schwartzentruber, senior from Dalton, Ohio. Logan, a 10.95 ERA. In 12.1 innings pitched, he's given up 17 hits, 20 runs, 15 earned, 13 walks, 13 strikeouts, and opposing batters hitting .315 against Logan Schwartzentruber. First pitch upstairs. Ball 1 for McCowan. Mikhail entering today with a .267 batting average. Evens this count up at 1 apiece. Lady Cougars lost 8-0 in game number 2 at Marion. So 8-0, 8-0. Good eye. Pitch low and outside.
Come on now, 6. Go to work. Come on, Nick. Yeah, good eye, Mikhail.
3-1 your count.
That's not what I want.
Full count now to McCowan. Had a home run in game number 1 off a fastball. Hit it to left center field. Said there's a lot of movement on the fastball. It worked more like a cutter. That'd be a catch for number 34, Chris Griffin. Griffin had a solo home run in game number 2. 1 up, 1 down here for the Cougs. That'll bring the plate Tyler Prince. Prince 5 for 10 with 5 runs, 2 RBI in this series. Tyler entering today, number 3 in the Crossroads League with a .476 on-base percentage. He and Noah Frymuth each in the top 5 in the Crossroads League and runs batted in. Entering today, 28 for Frymuth, 27 for Prince. 1-1 your count. St. Francis as a team ranks number 4 in the Crossroads League with a .278 team batting average. Schwartzentruber, big lefty. Once again, 6'1". 3-1 your count. Prince didn't like that one, low and outside. We got a full count. Good eye as he takes that pitch upstairs. It's 1 out. Prince at first for Noah Frymuth. Noah 4 for 6 with 2 runs and 3 RBI in the first 2 games of this series against Grace. Cougars now fall to 6-8 in the Crossroads League after the 9-8 loss. The 5-4 not in time as Prince is going to beat it, or Frymuth is going to beat it out on the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Jack Harris. Jack hitting his first home run of the season in game number 1 here against Lancers. For Harris, that's his 4th career home run. Frymuth still second. As the ball makes its way into center field, but they'll hold him at second. Cougars having no problem stealing bases today. Harris in his freshman year had 2 home runs. While batting .200, he had 2 home runs and 55 at-bats. Last year, 144 at-bats for Harris, now a junior. Jack with a .424 slugging percentage this year, up in this count 2-0. How about Noah Frymuth? When he was awarded the Crossroads League Player of the Week for the 2nd time in back-to-back weeks, he was slugging over 900 with 14 RBI. So not a bad week put together there for 3-3. Ooh, right off the ankle of the front leg there for Harris. Counts evened up at 2 apiece.
Let's go, kid. Let's go. We need you, kid. Hum now.
My 5er.
Like the fire was it. Hum now.
Jack scored 20 runs in his sophomore season. He's already got 24 runs scored under his belt this year.
Let's go, 5er.
He has 15 RBI, surpasses his 13 from sophomore year. So putting together a heck of a season at the plate is Jack Harris in his junior year. Right up the gut, the freshman Over to first. Route number 3. We'll head to the top of the second. We are scoreless here from the World Baseball Academy.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on
your batter now, it's Chris Griffin. Fouls off that first pitch. 0-1's your count. Griffin now 6 for 8 at the plate in this series. This count's evened up at 1 apiece. He's got 4 runs scored. And 1 RBI for Chris Griffin. Drills that ball to center field. Wow, Griffin with another triple, his second triple of the day. For the big man, Chris Griffin. Once again, folks, Griffin is only a freshman. That's going to bring to the plate Mitchell Enyart, the third baseman. Griffin had an RBI triple in the third inning of game number 2. Enyart 5 for 7 so far in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Two one now. He's got 2 runs scored and 4 RBI.
Yeah!
2-2 now to Mitchell Enyart. Playing a good third base here in this series. Grace had 2 errors in game number 1. Just 1 error in game number 2. 3 errors for St. Francis, 3 errors for Grace in this series. Nice stop by Brady Harris, going to look back. Griffin to third. That'll bring up Sid Elford. Elford was 1 for 1 with 2 runs scored in game number 1. Elford 0 for 1 in game number 2. So he's 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored on the day up in this count 1-0. We're evened up at 1 apiece.
Go, Tanner.
Elford, the junior catcher at 6'1" from Mississinawa, Ontario. So 1-2 now the count for Tanner Gaff.
Oh, now, Gaff. Attack this kid. Let's go. No one better. Hum now. Cheese.
Big cut. Swing and a miss for Tanner Gaff, his 3rd strikeout of the game. 2 gone. Your batter is Brandon Scott, the shortstop, or excuse me, number 6, the second baseman. Scott entering today at .353 batting average, 12 hits, 11 runs scored, and 34 at-bats. 10 RBI, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. 0-1's your count.
Hey, keep competing, baby. Hey, get that Grey Goose, baby. Hum now. Yeah, I guess not.
Counts evened up 1 apiece. Scott did not record an AB in game number 2. Was 0 for 0 with a run in game number 1.
There you go.
Ball fouled out of play. Gaff up in the count 1-2 with 2 outs. Chris Griffin leading off the second here with a triple. Still at 3rd with 2 outs. Last time out for Gaff against Bethel. He saw 22 batters, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, only 2 of those earned. He had 3 walks and a season-high 7 strikeouts against Bethel.
Oh, yeah.
Ball just misses inside. 2-2. Scott's a senior from Warsaw, Indiana. Coming in from Manchester. Swing and a miss. The 4th strikeout through 2 innings for Tanner Gaff. Led to the bottom of the 2nd, scoreless.
Time to go, boys. Let's go.
Hey, way to execute your pitches, baby. Yeah.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
So leading off for St. Francis, Caden Sullivan, Jacob Nagy, and Justice Tussing. Sullivan 2 for 7 with 3 RBI in this series. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. Caden also had a walk there in the game earlier today. 2-0's the count. Once again, folks, I do apologize about the flickering. It's driving me nuts also. The only baseball stadium that this happens at, I don't know if it's just because of all the fencing or what, but Sullivan, leadoff single right up the gut. So both teams now with one hit in this game. Leadoff man aboard for Jacob Nagy, the DH. Nagy 2 for 5, 2 runs scored in this series. He's your starting catcher in
Good job, big boy.
game number 2. Nagy yesterday in game number 1 was 0 for 1 with a run scored and a strikeout at the plate. Coming off the bench, it was Vollmer getting the start at catcher, and now they got Sullivan in a pickle. Yeah, he is gone. So Sully gets picked off at first. One out, Nagy at the plate. Pitch misses the outside corner. Nagy was 2 for 3 against Indiana Tech earlier this week. Ball into shallow right field.
Hey, what do you say? Tuss starts with 2, baby.
That's a can of corn for Xavier Harris. 2 gone. I'll bring up Justice Tussing. Tussing, who scored a run yesterday in game 1 against Grace.
Here we go, Tuss.
He had a multi-hit game against Concordia back on February the 23rd. He was 2 for 3 with an RBI against the Cardinals out of Ann Arbor. 1-0's your count. Right back at Logan Schwartzentruber for out number 3.
Hey, hold us there, Gaffer.
We head to the top of the 3rd, scoreless.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
The Chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
For the Lancers, they'll lead it off with R.J. Snyder, the number 9 batter. And then the top of the order, David Anderson. Snyder, who led off game number 2, was 2 for 4 with 2 runs. He also had 2 runs and an RBI. Game number 1. First pitch picked up by Harris on the edge of the dirt for a single. Leadoff batter aboard. That brings up the leadoff hitter, David Anderson.
Hey, baby!
Anderson grounded out to Harris in his first AB. 0-1's your count.
Check the run.
Good flex.
Gaff up in this count. 2 strikeouts in the first, 2 strikeouts in the second. Gaff did not pitch as a freshman. In his sophomore year, he had 11 strikeouts, just 6 walks. Entering today, 11 strikeouts, 10 walks. That chopper over to Harris, he's got the only play at first for out number 2. Excuse me, out number 1 on the fielder's choice. Snyder now at second for Newkirk, who struck out in his first AB. Newkirk 2 for 8, 2 runs and an RBI in this series. That ball just shallow right, McHale underneath it, and no tag on the play. That throw just about perfect at third base.
We got two. Hit the chopper. All right.
That's going to bring to the plate Houston Haney, the DH, who was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Haney, a 6'3" sophomore. Take that first pitch for strike 1. Tanner, with 14.1 innings pitched under his belt last year, gave up 20 runs. Only 12 were earned. He had a 7.53 ERA. Did not give up a home run last year. Big swing and a miss. The Gaff starting to fire up there on the mound. Gaff with a career-high 7 strikeouts last time out in the final game of the Bethel series. That was a win for St. Francis. That ball is drilled and gone. 2-run home run for Houston Haney. As Grace will take the lead, 2-0. Third hit of the game for Grace. That brings up the cleanup hitter, Xavier Harris.
Come on, Gav, let's go, baby. Don't shake that off. Here we go, Gav.
Get third.
Harris over to Sullivan. Route number 3. We head to the bottom of the third. Cougs down by 2.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit SummitCitySports.com.
Parkview.
Come on, Brady!
Brady Harris leading it off here in the bottom of the third against Logan Schwartzentruber. First pitch strike to Harris.
Hey, come on, boys, stay up. Come on, Brady!
Ooh, just catching the outside corner for strike two. Schwartzentruber, a solid start to this game here. Just 27 pitches through 2 innings, giving up 1 hit and a walk. 1-2 now the count to Harris. Ball hit deep to center. Route number 1. It's exactly what Brady did in his first at-bat of game number 2. Sharply hit ball just right at the center fielder. Brings up Matt Vollmer, number 15. Matt was 1 for 3 in game number 1 of this series. Did not see the plate in game 2. That first pitch misses outside for ball 1.
We said at 1-5, you lead up, man, babe. Good, up boy, you leave.
2-0 is the count. Vollmer, the senior catcher. 5'8", 175. Went to Grand River Collegiate High School. 3-0 now your count with 1 out. Good piece of hitting there by Vollmer. They're on the short hop, tough to handle for Newkirk. Looked like a single to me. We'll see what the official ruling is. Still with 1 out, runner on first. Tough backhand there, catching on that short hop. That'll bring up Mikhail McCowan, 0 for 1 in this game. Mikhail, 5 for 12, 4 runs scored, and 4 RBI in this series.
Good job, Matthew. Come on, boys, chip away. We got it. We got it.
Mick hitting his second home run of the season in game number 2. It's Tony Bova now running at first. Bova, team high 10 stolen bases. 0-1 now to Mikhail McCowan. Runners off on the hit and run. It's fouled off.
working hard, big boy. Come on, Mick. Go 6.
Grace now 7-7 in conference play. Entering today, Grace, Taylor, and St. Francis all tied with 6-7 records. Cougars now at 6-8. Grace at 7-7. We'll see what Taylor did. 1 and 2 is your count. Huntington beat Mount Vernon Nass 7-2. And Bova going to take third, and he will score on what I believe will be an E3. Cougs now pull within 1, 2-1. McCowan now at second. Let's take another look at that play. The co-interim head coach, Tom Roy, not too happy. They called McHale safe at first, and then the overthrow there at third. Cougs get on the board.
Jack. Yeah, here's that.
So that's a single for McHale. And the run scores on the air.
Let's go, drive in.
And there was the E3. McCowan now at third.
Let's get up, dugout. Let's go.
1-0 your count.
Yeah, I think he's going to throw it back. I was there, though, by mile. I was good. I got confidence. I've been doing this for 3 years, pinch running. Yeah, me getting all that air.
Tyler Prince, who walked in his first at-bat. 5 for 10, 5 runs, 2 RBI in the series.
Hey, come on, big boy. Good run out there. Let's go. Big run.
2-1 your count to Prince.
Come on, big boy. Let's go.
McCowan at third, the tying run. That ball backhanded by Newkirk. Play at the plate. McCowan is safe. We are tied at 2. Heads up running there by Mikhail McCowan. Brings up Noah Frymuth, who reached on a fielder's choice back in the first. First pitch high and outside. 1-0 is your count.
It's okay.
1-1 your count.
Good job, Noah.
Come on, Fry.
Good. Come on, Fry. Good. Say that good. I'm out.
Let's go 3.
Good. Go. One good.
Hey, fight.
Number 2.
Find a way. Find a way.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to Fry. That ball ripped deep to center field. Catching on the run is Anderson for out number 3. We head to the top of the 4th, tied at 2.
All right, 0-0 ball game, boys. Let's go.
He's got those little leg speed, you know what I mean?
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Welcome back, everybody. 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Grace. 2 runs, 2 hits, 0 errors for St. Francis. Your batter is arguably the MVP of this series, the freshman, Chris Griffin. 1-0 your count. Griffin had a triple back in the 2nd. He's now 7 for 9 with 4 runs and 3 RBI. Had a home run in game number 2. 2-0's the count. Griffin 2 for 3 with 2 runs, 2 RBI, a walk, and a strikeout in game 2. In game 1, 4 for 5, 2 runs, a walk, and a strikeout. They'll draw the walk on 4 straight pitches. And I'll bring up Mitchell Enyart. Coach Butch comes out to talk with Gaff.
And you said I'm ready. You think I would have did that?
Tanner, so far in this game, 50 pitches under his belt. He's given up 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and given up the 1 home run. Grace did not have a home run in game number 1. Picked 1 up in game number 2 and 1 here in game number 3. Cougars had 2 home runs in game number 1, a 17-13 loss. Enyart, the 3rd baseman. 0-1's count. Bunt laid down. That's going to spin away from Vollmer. Still, though, no problem for the senior catcher. That'll bring to the plate Sid Elford, the junior catcher for Grace. Elford struck out in his first at-bat. He's 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored in the series. First pitch upstairs for ball 1. Timeout called at the plate. Griffin at second.
Keep working, kid. Keep working. 2-5, let's go, kid. Okay, it's on my top. It's on my top.
Griffin 5'11". Looks like he goes about 200 pounds. 2-0's the count.
Come on, Jeff. Let's go, kid. Come on, Jeff.
That ball hit in the left. Harris, there's going to be no play at the plate. Good cutoff by Sullivan. Runners at the corners now with 1 out. Fourth hit of the game for Grace. We got a courtesy runner. It's number 9, Jaron Mullet. Brings up Brandon Scott.
Come on, Jeff. Let's go. 1 pitch away, kid. Let's go.
Scott 0 for 1 in this series with a run scored. Starting second base here in game number 3.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Check swing goes around. 0-1 your count.
Keep battling 2-5. Roll him up here. Center.
Come on, Gapper.
Runner going there on the hit and run, 0-2. Grace wearing the Nike uniforms, just like St. Francis.
Here you go, Tanner. You got this, baby.
Way up, Gapper. Way up.
Be smart.
Huh?
Yeah!
Gaff gets him looking. His 5th strikeout of the game. 2 gone. R.J. Snyder. Here tied at 2. Snyder had a single and scored a run back in the 3rd.
Come on, Gapper. One more to get, kid.
Let's go, TT.
You're right, quick hit.
2-5, you're good.
First pitch just misses outside for ball 1.
Come on, Tanner, let's go, baby.
Gaff checks runner at first. Chopper over to Harris. He'll go to first for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 2.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
It may be winter, but it's never too early to start thinking about spring. Start your new year sharp and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer service. Schedule your spring special appointment today. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Give your home the curb appeal it deserves. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code Summit City for 15% off today.
Here in the bottom of the 4th, it's Jack Harris, Caden Sullivan, Jacob Nagy for your Cougars. Harris grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. That was back in the 5th inning. Cougars sent 4 to the plate.
That's probably what on his head. That's what I'm assuming.
It was Prince walking in the top half of the inning.
That's what I'm assuming going on.
That reminds me of
Whose cup is it? Right here. You're really worried about that.
Jack entering today a team best, 323 batting average. Oh, 1 your count. Jack 6'1", 190 pounds. Counts evened up at 1 apiece.
Here you go, Jack. Here you go, Jack. You ever need some more lemon juice? Maybe juice up. Here you go, Jack. Good take. There you go.
Counts evened up 2 apiece. Schwarzenschruber on the bump.
Hard 90. Hard 90, Jack. Oh! D1. Eligibility check. D1. Flyers.
Logan with 50 pitches under his belt, giving up 2 hits and 2 runs, just 1 walk.
Hey, baby Jack, keep battling, baby.
Full count now to Harris. Jack 4 for 8 in this series. Swing and a miss. 1 up, 1 down here for the Cougs. The bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up Caden Sullivan. Led off the bottom of the 2nd with a single before getting picked off at first base. Got caught up in a pickle. Breaking ball falls in. 0-1's your count.
Like an amateur Mexican wrestler. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Let's go. Come on, boys. Here you go, Caden. Come get it. Come get it. Never know.
Slow roller.
Good job, Beef.
Great work by the second baseman, Scott. Fielded it cleanly and fired it to first. 2 outs. Scott did that all in 1 motion there. That'll bring up number 12, Jacob Nagy. Nagy now 2 for 6 with 2 runs scored in the series. Flew out to right field in his first at-bat. Check that first pitch outside for ball 1.
They slept with that guy. Yeah. That was against Big. We did Rally Hawk. There you go. There you go. There you go, next. One next. One next. Good, Nick. Here you go, buddy. Here you go, buddy. There we go.
4 straight pitches. And Nagy will take first base with the walk. So 2 outs for Justice Tussing. Grounded out to the pitcher, Schwarzenschruber, in his first AB.
Come on, bud. Come on. Stay up, boys. Let's go. I know you're tired. Here we go, Todd. Right away. Chip away. Tanner Gaff's keeping us in this game. Let's go. All right, now we drive it. We're good, kid. We drive it.
Tussing entering today.
Have confidence, baby.
244 batting average.
Go with the pitch.
Counts evened up at 1 apiece.
Good, Todd.
Pitch misses low and inside. Good stop by Elford.
Come on, Toss.
Taylor beat Spring Arbor 16-4. Now they're losing to Spring Arbor 5-1. Huntington on top of MVNU in game number 2, 2-1. Counts evened up, 2-2.
Come on, Toss.
That ball ripped up the gut. Nagy advances to second. I'll bring up number 20, Brady Harris. Flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Harris, 2 for 8 with 2 runs scored in the series.
Yeah. Yeah, Dane, that's my reasoning. Nolan is great. Yeah, because everyone loves Josh by the end of the show. Like, we all love Josh, and whether we love Cordell more than we love Nolan. Because Cordell's a real G. Nolan's just ready.
Lefty zero. Oh boy.
2 balls, 1 strike. Cougs tying this game up in the bottom of the 3rd. Harris, and there's going to be no play at first. So Brady beats it out with his speed. For USF, just the 4th hit of the game. Bases are loaded now for the catcher. And it looks like we got a pinch hitter going to the plate. Vollmer entering today at .286 batting average. 12 hits and 42 at-bats. Matt singled in his first at-bat. It's going to be Harold Wolf to pinch hit for him. It's pretty much how the season's gone with Vollmer. He usually gets pinch hit for once or twice in a game. Still, though, when he does come to the plate, getting the job done. Wolf in game number 2 was 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Takes that first pitch for a strike. In game number 1, Wolf was 1 for 5 with 2 runs, 2 RBI, a walk and a strikeout. Wolf, that one chopped to second for out number 3. We'll head to the top of the 5th, still tied at 2.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
It may be winter, but it's never too early to start thinking about spring. Start your new year sharp and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer service. Schedule your spring special appointment today. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Give your home the curb appeal it deserves. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code Summit City for 15% off today.
Come on, Grab. Good job, kid. Come now. Come on, man. Look at my ankle.
Sorry, I like it. Yep.
Leading it off for Grace in the top of the fifth. The leadoff batter, David Anderson, the center fielder. Anderson is now 3 for 13 in this series. Grounded out to the shortstop in his first two ABs this game. In game number 2, the game that he started, Anderson was your number 5 batter. That ball hit deep to right. McCowan just got turned around there in the outfield. We'll see what they call that. That's going to bring up Sam Newkirk. Looked like an E9 from here, but they're going to give him a hit. They're going to say that's a double. Lead off double for Anderson. Newkirk 0 for 2. 2 for 10 with 2 RBI, or 2 runs and 1 RBI in the series. Batting 200 in the series. 0-1's your count with 0 outs. Prince coming in here from first. Ooh, and that's going to be right off the forearm of the freshman, Newkirk.
Reset now. Reset. Grab ball. Got force out now.
Runners at first and second.
Very good, 2-5. Let's go, kid. Come on now. Come on, Tanner.
Newkirk, the freshman, a 6'3" shortstop.
Roll one, baby.
Brings up the home run hitter, Houston Haney, and he's going to bunt it. So Sullivan, who covered third, Gaff could not catch up to it. Bases loaded with no outs. That'll be the 6th hit of the game for Grace.
Come on now. Come on.
Brings up Xavier Harris.
Come on, Gaff. Let's go, kid. Dig in here, Gaffer.
Harris does not have a home run on the season. In this series, he's 3 for 10 with 4 runs and 2 RBI. Playing right field. Swinging hard here with bases loaded.
go, you Gaff. Go to work, baby. Work out of it. There you go, TG.
Gaff throwing hard there, low and away. We're evened up, one apiece.
Go, Tanner. On now. Be a bulldog. Be a bulldog up there.
Another one in the dirt. 2-1 to the right fielder, Xavier Harris. Big cut. Gaff with 5 strikeouts so far in this game. His career high is 7 strikeouts.
1-2-5, 1-2-5. I'm not kidding. Let's go. Functioning.
Ooh, Gaff the fastball. Just inside, full count. Base is full of Lancers. This is the cleanup hitter, Xavier Harris.
That's the hardest I've ever seen. All right, TG, best pitch on bid.
Gaff is throwing some gas right now. Harris goes down. That ball hit right up the gut. 2 runs are going to come home to score on the 2 RBI single by Xavier Harris. Grace takes back the lead, 4-2. That's the 7th hit of the game.
Go, Gaff, I'm now. You got it. You're all right, man. You're all right. I'm bad.
So Harris gets a round of applause from the Lancer faithful. It's going to bring up Chris Griffin. Swinging a hot, hot bat.
Hey, come on, Gaff. Here we go. Ground ball.
Griffin had a triple in the second, walked in the fourth. He is 7 for 9 at the plate, 4 runs and 3 RBI in this series.
He went. What? Come on. Never pull back. I never saw a pullback.
1-0 is the count.
Good pitch, Gaff. Good pitch. Hey, flush it, Gaff. We need you.
Look for Chris Griffin to be among the All Crossroads League newcomers. This freshman can swing it. Starting first baseman. Griffin with the team's best batting average at .354 entering today, and he's done nothing to hurt that. Tacked on a home run and 2 triples. Slugging percentage going up as well.
Come on, Gaff, let's go. All right, 2-5 on babe.
For Griffin, that's his 3rd triple and 2nd home run of the season. Puts down the bunt. No play for Gaff. Griffin, for his size, sure can run. 8th hit of the game for the Lancers.
Keep pounding the zone, baby. Keep pounding the zone. TG on babe.
Brings up Mitchell Enyard.
Come on, man. Come on, Tanner, let's go, kid. Right, give her on ball. On babe, on babe. Keep pounding that zone, TG on babe. Hey, what are you working out? What are you working out? Here we go, 2-5.
Lancers getting pretty excited there. Their coach fielded a foul ball.
There you go, good pitch.
Swing. 0-2 is your count. Bases are back to being loaded for the Lancers. Just 0 outs. Grace, one of the top hitting teams in the Crossroads League. Tussing comes home for the 4th out. Out number 1. Brings up Sid Elford, the catcher. Sid 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored in the series. Last at bat he singled. 1-0 is your count.
Hey, let's roll one here now. Let's go.
Big cut at it. Counts evened up at 1 apiece.
Let's go, kid. 1-2-5, 1-2-5.
Again, St. Francis is going to host all the way out except for the Huntington series and a single 9-inning game at Indiana Tech. Other than that, we're hosting MVNU, Spring Arbor, Taylor, and IU South Bend. That ball right on the edge of the infield for out number 2.
Hey, keep dialing in, guys. We need it. Let's go, babe.
Not sure if they called the infield fly rule there.
Left side.
I'll bring up Brandon Scott, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. 1 swinging, 1 looking.
Good job. Not too far, big boy. Keep working hard.
Working out there, 2-5. Home, babe. Let's go, kid.
Right at Tussing. Beautiful catch by number 17. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. 4-2. Grace on top.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
It may be winter, but it's never too early to start thinking about spring. Start your new year sharp and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer service. Schedule your spring special appointment today. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Give your home the curb appeal it deserves. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code Summit City for 15% off today.
Leading it off for St. Francis, it's the top of the order, Mikhail McCowan, Tyler Prince, and Noah Fryman. Mikhail singled and scored a run in his last at-bat. Southeastern out of Florida, ranked number 1 in the country. Faulkner, number 2. Tennessee Wesleyan, 3. Georgia Gwinnett and Oklahoma City rounding out the top 5. Indiana Tech has dropped from 16 to number 22. Taylor University still not in the top 25. They're ranked at number 20 for a stretch. One and 1 your count to McCowan. Mikhail now 6 for 13 with 5 runs scored and 4 RBI in this series. Getting it done at the plate with the home run. home run happened yesterday right around this time. 2-1's your count.
Come on, Mick. Come on. Go, kid. I'm not. What do you say?
3-1 now the count to McCowan.
Stay up, boys. Grind away. Find a way. Battle up. You're on it, 6. You're on it. Home, bib.
Full count now as McCowan rips that ball. Foul down the third base line. Still the starter, Logan Schwartzentruber. That ball ripped, and what a catch by the left fielder, R.J. Snyder. Came in charging after it, made the diving snag. A true web gem. That'll bring up Tyler Prince.
Come on, TP. Go, boy.
Prince 0 for 1 in this game with a walk. He's 5 for 11, 5 runs, 2 RBI in this series. Counts evened up at 1 apiece.
There we go.
That ball drilled him to left. Prince gonna motor for 2. Another double for Tyler Prince. Prince had a double in game number 2 as well. Trusting his speed there, going all the way around in first.
There you go, Ty. Way to bring me up.
Hey, Nick, what if he doesn't?
That'll bring up Noah Fryman. Noah down in the count 0-1. He's 0 for 2 in this game. 4 for 8 in the series with 2 runs and 3 RBIs. Good play there by Scott for out number 2. That will advance Tyler Prince to third. That'll bring up Jack Harris. 0 for 2 in this game with a strikeout. 4 for 10 in the series, 3 runs, 2 RBI.
Good job, Five. Jack. Come on, Five. Do a job up it.
0 for 1 the count.
Good, Jack. Boy.
Evened up now at 1 apiece. It's supposed to rain tomorrow here in the fort. But this is probably the nicest day we've had this spring. That ball get down. That's an RBI single for Jack Harris. Scores Tyler Prince. Cougs pull within 1, down 4-3. Another nice piece of hitting there by Jack Harris. That's his 3rd RBI of the series. 6th run scored for Tyler Prince in this series. Brings up Caden Sullivan. Sullivan 1 for 2 in this game. 3 for 9 with 3 RBI in the series. Check Harris back at first.
I thought you were talking about the guy who was standing on the second. Here you go, Kaden.
Not a job, but it was productive.
That one's going to get away from the catcher, Sid Elford.
There you go, Jack. Come on, kid. Come on, kid. Come on, 2-1. Come on, 2-1.
So Harris reaches second on the wild pitch. Counts evened up at 1 apiece.
How about you, John, for 2-1?
Caden Sullivan swinging one of the hotter bats here the last 3 weeks for St. Francis.
Hey, see it driving, baby.
Sullivan getting the start at third base in game 1, 2, and 3 of the series. Jack Harris, Noah Frymuth, Mikael McCowan,
Great job, Solly.
Brady Harris, all starting all the games here in this series. 2-2's your count. Eight hits for Grace and 6 hits for St. Francis. Grace with 2 errors. They have 5 errors in the series, 3 errors in the series for St. Francis.
Hey, win the battle, kid. Win the battle.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner at second.
Win the battle.
That ball picked up by the shortstop, Newkirk, for out number 3. We'll head to the top of the 6th. Cougs get 1 back, down 4-3.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
It may be winter, but it's never too early to start thinking about spring. Start your new year sharp and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer service. Schedule your spring special appointment today. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Give your home the curb appeal it deserves. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code Summit City for 15% off today.
Grace, 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors, 3, 6, and 0 for St. Francis. Here in the top of the 6th, it's Tanner Gaff on the bump, RJ Snyder at the plate. That ball hit right at Frymuth. He's going to drift into right center field to make the catch for out number 1. Brings up David Anderson, his 4th AB of the game. He's 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. First pitch is a swing and a miss. Anderson, who started game number 2 on the bump, playing center field here in game number 3. Batted leadoff in game 1 and 3. Batted out of the 5 hole in game number 2. That ball ripped into right. McCowan makes the snag.
Hey, scrub out there. Ready, go get it. 6.
We'll bring up Sam Newkirk. Sam, the shortstop, just a freshman. 0 for 2 in this game. Was hit by a pitch and scored a run back in the 5th. On deck is Houston Haney. He's hit the home run back in the 3rd. One and 2 your count with 2 outs.
Keep working hard, big boy. Here you go, Gabby. Here you go, babe. Oh, Prince! TP!
Fly out to first baseman Tyler Prince. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. 4-3. Grace on top.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
The Chapel Project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Leading off for St. Francis here in the bottom of the 6th, Jacob Nagy, Justice Tussing, and Brady Harris. Got a new pitcher. It's number 33, Houston Haney. He hit the home run earlier for Grace. Started off this game as a DH. Haney, a 3.38 ERA in 16 innings pitched. He's given up 24 hits, 10 runs, 6 earned, 1 walk, 16 strikeouts. Opposing batters hitting .333 against them. Nagy 0 for 1 in this game with a walk. Down in the count 0-1. That ball roller over to Enyart for out number 1. That'll bring up Justice Tussing. Tussing 1 for 2, had a single back in the 4th. Starting second baseman today. Here in game number 2. Oh, 1's your count.
Here we go, top of 2, top of 2. Come in, Justice. Come on, kid. I'm not tossed out, kid. Come on, Todd. Let's go, kid. Let's go, Todd.
Justice down this count 0-2.
Toss down. Yeah. All right. Toss down, Tatiana. Toss down.
I want to see you toss down.
Just bus.
Right here, kid, right here. Drive the baseball.
Let me toss.
That ball ripped down the first base line. Just foul.
He's not watching the same game. That's terrible, man. Mike.
We'll take another look at it.
Did it go over the base foul? Can we find some umpires that aren't 90 years old? It went around the base?
A little hard to see from that angle.
Went around the base? That's a magic ball.
1-2 your count. Breaking ball, that's going to get away from Elford. 2-2 now.
Come on, Tuss, let's go, kid.
Tuss. Here you go, Tuss. Here you go, Tuss. Keep working. Come on, London. Keep working, Tuss.
Right up.
You want, you get it.
Chopper. That's going to be over the head. As Tussin gets back to first. After the E6. Third error of the game for Grace. That ball hit off the cinder block of the dugout and bounced right back at first base, so Tussing had to get back quickly. That'll bring up Brady Harris. Just one out. Go ahead run at the plate. First pitch will be up and in for ball one.
Come on, kid. Come on, Brady. We got this, man. We got this.
Come on, 2-0. Come on, 2-0.
Come on, Brady. Head on. Let's go, kid. You got it.
Come here, Brady.
Goes on ball, drive it. Up it.
1-1 your count to Harris. Had a single in his last AB. Now 3 for 9 in this series. 1 for 2 in this game.
Obey 2-0. We send out Bradley.
I'm Brady.
The 1-2 here to Harris. Tussin was off and running on the hit and run.
Come on, win it, 2-0. Come on, kid.
I'm not Brady. Go, kid.
Come on, kid, right here. Let's go.
Tussin getting a big lead there at first. Hit right at Newkirk. Not in time for the double play. Harris will reach first on the fielder's choice. Tussing out at second on the 6-4. That'll bring up Matt Ballmer. 2 outs.
Come on, Ball. You got it, kid.
Back.
Come on, Matthew.
Come on, Bull. Way to get 2 hits.
Let's go, Ball.
Go, Matthew. 4-5.
That is not
Come on, Ball. Let's go, kid.
I'm Ball.
0-1 here to the catcher, Ballmer. Harris off, and he is safe with the stolen base. Brady Harris now has 7 stolen bases on the season.
Come on, Ball. Let's go, kid.
0-2's the count to Ballmer.
It went around the bag.
Oh, wait, so it went like around foul and then came back there. That makes a lot of sense now. they teach you guys? What they teach you in physics in 1910?
Once again, the new pitcher is number 33, Houston Haney, just a sophomore. I'll tell you, Grace has some big young players. Balmer into right field. Harris going to come home, and he is safe on the RBI single by Matt Balmer, scoring Brady Harris. We are tied at 4. Brings to the plate McCown leadoff batter. 1 for 3 in this game with a single and a run scored in the third. Tony Bova into courtesy run for Vollmer. It's kind of what I was saying in the last AB when Vollmer was pitch hit for. Matt is 2 for 2 in this game with a run scored and an RBI. Actually, that run scored's not him. Should be credited to him, though. Bova's off. In there easily. For the stolen base, 0-2's your count.
Get your mongoose back. Get your mongoose back.
He never touched me.
Come on, Mick. What are you get?
Gets him looking on the outside corner. Still the Cougars tied up there in the bottom of the 6th. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Knotted at 4.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit SummitCitySports.com.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team.
I mean, I always had my family behind me.
Houston Haney now the pitcher at the plate with a 1-1. Checks it upstairs. Haney 2 for 2 with a run, 2 RBI. That big home run back in the third. 2-2's now the count. Gaff still going strong here in the 7th. That'll be out of play. Count remains at 2-2.
Here we go, Gaff.
Let's go. Stay on.
Chopper, nice snag by Sullivan in the throw. Not in time. That's the 9th hit of the game here for Grace. Great attempt there by Sullivan. We saw that in game number 1 when Xavier Harris's hit went right off his glove. He almost snagged it. We got a pinch hitter now for Harris. In to run is number 9, Jaron Mullet. New batter, I believe. Is that Hunter Ackerman batting? It is Ackerman. That bunt goes straight up.
There you go.
Not sure why Xavier Harris didn't come to the plate. Harris been killing the ball. One out here for Chris Griffin. Griffin has been on a tear. He's 2 for 2 with a triple and a single. He's 8 for 10 with 4 runs and 3 RBI, a home run, 2 triples in this series. What knows your count? He's only a freshman.
I'm now, Jeff. Keep pounding, kids. Go.
The big guy is not slow. He's got 3 triples on the season. Drilled that ball to center. That's going to get behind Frymuth. All the way to the fence. That's a 400-foot shot. Another triple. That's his 3rd triple of the series. Grace takes the lead 5-4. Another RBI triple by Chris Griffin. Look for him to be the Crossroads League Player of the Week with these numbers. The pinch runner, Jaron Mullet, comes home to score the go-ahead run. It's the 10th hit of the game here for Grace. That kid is only a freshman. Mitchell Enright down in this count 0-1.
There you go, Gaff.
And it's 0 for 3 in this game, 5 for 10 in the series. 2 runs, 4 RBI.
There you go, Gaff.
Swing and a miss for out number 2. Tanner picks up his 6th strikeout of the game. 2 outs, your batter, Sid Elford. The catcher. Oh, 1 the count to the junior catcher.
Yeah. There you go, Gaff. Go, Gaff.
Gaff now with 102 pitches under his belt. 9 hits, 4 runs, all earned. Excuse me. 107 pitches under his belt. 10 hits, 5 runs, all earned. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, and the home run. And 2 triples to Chris Griffin. I don't remember the last time I've seen a player hit 2 triples in a game. Swing and a miss. 7th strikeout of the game for Tanner Gaff. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Cougs need another run to get tied.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
The chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Still on the bump here, it's Houston Haney. Entering today with the third best ERA on the team at 3.38. Haney with an inning under his belt, 20 pitches, giving up 1 hit, 1 run. It was not earned, and a strikeout. 10 hits, 3 errors for Grace in this game. Your batter, it's Tyler Prince. Prince with a double and a run scored in his last at-bat. 1-0 is your count. Prince, that'll be fouled out of play. We're evened up at 1 apiece. Tyler, 6 for 12 in this series with 6 runs scored and 2 RBI. Batting .500 here against the Lancers. Great outing there by Tanner Gaff. Battling his heart out through 7 innings. 1 and 2 is your count. The final numbers for Gaff: 7 innings pitched, 110 pitches, 10 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 home run given up. For Gaff, his 7 strikeouts ties a career high. That's a snag for Brandon Scott for out number 1. Brings up Noah Frymuth. Frymuth entering today with a .311 batting average.
Let's go, baby.
Frymuth is 0 for 3 in this game, which makes him 4 for 9 in the series, with 2 runs and 3 RBI. Down in this count 0-1.
Come on, 3. Here you go, Noah. Hey, you're the better 33. Come on. Hey, battle, kid, battle. Battle 2. Come now. Double 2, Noah. Double 2. Having a approach, Noah. Anything close. You can protect and do whatever. Come now.
The 0-2 to Noah Frymuth. That's Houston Haney. Whoa, that one got away from Scott. Fourth error of the game for Grace. Frymuth reaches on the E4. That brings up Jack Harris.
Come on, Jack.
Harris 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the 5th. He's now 5 for 11 in this series. 3 runs, 2 RBI.
I'll get it. Here you go, buddy. Here you go, Jack.
0-1 your count with 1 out. Frymuth gets back safely.
All right.
Close play there. Keep an eye out on Monday. We'll see if the Lancers, Chris Griffin, the freshman, ends up being the Offensive Player of the Week in the Crossroads League.
Get in line with the base.
The numbers do not lie. 1, 1, and 1's your count.
Come on, Jackie.
Good job, here, Jack. Good, Jack. Good, Jack. Hey, say 5.
Frymuth is off. And safe at second with the stolen base. Noah, that's his second stolen base in this game. 2-1 now to Harris.
Jack, you're good. Good, Jack. Go do a job, kid. Keep the head in, Jack. Keep the head in, Jack. Come on, Jack.
On deck for the Cougars.
Go, kid.
It's Caden Sullivan.
Keep battling, kid. Keep battling. Battle 2. Battle 2. Let's go.
Sullivan, who might end up pitching in this game. Gaff is done with 3 innings remaining. Frymuth came in to close out game 1 for St. Francis. 2-2 with 1 out.
Great job, Jack. There you go, Jack.
Hey, Tony, it's not an issue on third. You got the arm for it.
Sullivan and Jacob Nagy on deck.
On Jips. Here you go, Jackie. Jiggly Jack. Jackie. Yeah, let it fight, Jack. Yeah, Jackie.
Harris battling at the dish. Count remains 2-2.
Come on, Jackson.
Come on, baby.
Nobody get off.
That ball hitting to right. Foul out of play.
Win it, baby. Hey, here you go, Fiver. Here you go, Jackie. Win it, win it, win it. Win this kid, win it. Nobody get off. What do you think, Jackie?
Yeah!
That ball is going to fall into center. Frymuth moves to third on the 8th hit of the game here for the Cougars. We have runners at the corners now with 1 out.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's back-to-back hits there for Jack Harris. It's going to bring up Caden Sullivan. Caden 1 for 3 in this game.
Come on, Caden, let's go, kid.
3 for 10 in the series.
Here we go, Sully.
Harris 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts on the season at first base. 1-0's the count.
Come on, Sully.
Caden been hitting it hard all day. We'll take that for strike 1. Grace just 2 strikeouts from the mound in this game. 7 for St. Francis.
Here we go, Jack.
Caden now down in the count 1-2.
Find a way, Sully. Find a way.
Gotta grind, Sully.
You got it.
Come on, Caden.
Run on. No.
So Sully goes down swinging as Harris steals second.
Sully, you got lucky, big boy. If he throws that, they're going to call him out.
Good job, Jack.
Here you go, Nag. Here you go, Nag.
Brings up Jacob Nagy. Jacob 0 for 2 with the walk.
Right guy, right spot. Come on.
2 for 7 with 2 runs in the series.
Here you go, Nagy.
Nagy rips that ball into right center. Frymuth comes home to score. Jack Harris comes home to score as the Cougars take a 6-5 lead on the Jacob Nagy 2 RBI single. That brings up Justice Tussing.
Let's go. Here you go, Tuss.
First pitch, swing and a miss for Tussing. Justice 1 for 3 with a single back in the 4th. Reached on an E6 back in the 6th.
Wow, leave him on base back more often.
Stood on my back and then stayed on the back.
He's got a good back.
Hey, way to go. Maggie. Hey, way to go. You know what? You should have been faster.
0-1, the count to Tussing. Big
right
cut.
Here, Tuss, right here, baby.
Pitch on the outside corner.
Tuss, go.
Keep working, Tuss.
It's Nagy at first base. Go to the top of the 8th. Cougs up 6-5.
Way going. Way at 2, boys. Yeah, Nagy.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit SummitCitySports.com.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team.
I mean, I always had my family behind me, I always had my team behind me, but to have staff that wanted the best for me and to get me feeling better the quickest was really reassuring.
Parkview Sports Medicine.
Here in the top of the 8th. For Grace, it's going to be Brandon Scott, R.J. Snyder, then the top of the order, David Anderson. Lancers, 5 runs, 10 hits, 4 errors. St. Francis, 6 runs, 9 hits, 0 errors. New pitcher is Caden Sullivan. At third base now, it's Tony Bova. Sullivan entering today with a 6.75 ERA and 5.1 innings pitched. He's given up 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 0 strikeouts on the season. Opposing batters are batting .291. No, excuse me, .304 against Caden Sullivan.
one-hopped it and you did this. What are you talking about?
It went over my head.
No, it didn't.
It went all the way up.
0-1 your count to Scott.
You did this.
He's 0 for 4 in this game with 2 strikeouts. Excuse me, 0 for 3 in this game with 2 strikeouts. He's 0 for 3 with the run in the series. 1-1 your count. Two one now your count. Big cut. Brandon Scott from Warsaw, Indiana. Previous school is Manchester.
What are we going to do?
Big cut. Nagy going to toss it over to Prince. 1 out now after the strikeout swinging. Bring up R.J. Snyder. For Caden Sullivan, that's his first strikeout of the year. R.J. Snyder 1 for 3 in this game with a single and a run scored in his first at-bat. Oh, 1's your count.
Hey, are we on that baseball? I got him down like 8 balls. Huh?
Sullivan last year pitched in 5 innings with a 9 ERA. Had 3 strikeouts. He's now got 4 strikeouts on the bump for his career. 0-2 to R.J. Snyder. Low and inside, counts evened up, 2 apiece. Full count. Sullivan starting all 3 games of this series at third base. We got Bova now at third. Sully's on the bump. Gets him looking. Second strikeout of the game for Caden Sullivan. Sullivan entering today with 0 strikeouts, now has back-to-back. Brings up David Anderson, leadoff batter. He's 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. That happened back in the 5th.
Noah!
1-1.
Ball in the dirt. We're evened up, 1 apiece. One with 2 outs. Sully doing a great job here in relief. And this is the leadoff batter, David Anderson,
Good spot.
the junior. Last year, All Crossroads League honorable mention in his sophomore season. Noah Frymuth was all honorable mention last year in his sophomore season. So too was Tyler Prince, but that was in his freshman season. 3-1, now your count. Keaton Sullivan was the other All Crossroads League honorable mention. He was a senior last year. Keaton was just like Caden in the fact that he could play anywhere on the field. Pitch, catch. Keaton started his freshman year at shortstop, then moved to third when David Snyder came in as a freshman. That ball sliced right down the right field line. Anderson's going to take two. He will beat the umpire there. 2-out double. 10th hit of the game for Grace. 11th hit, excuse me. That'll bring up Sam Newkirk, the freshman shortstop. 0 for 3 in this game, was hit by a pitch in the 5th and scored a run. Newkirk's 2 for 11 in the series, 3 runs scored and an RBI. Two outs here with a lot of speed at second base. That being said, Anderson's 1 for 3 in stolen base attempts on the season. He was your starting pitcher in game 2. The chopper foul. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. Sullivan up in this count, 1-2. Looking for his 3rd strikeout of the inning. Caden once again entering today with 0 strikeouts, but getting it done on the bump. For Grace, they had to bring in Houston Haney, who started the game as a DH. That ball hit over to Bova, and that throw is going to go wide. Anderson's going to score the tying run. The E5. For St. Francis, that's the team's 1st error of the game. 4th error in the series. Brings up Haney. Now the pitcher. First pitch up in the zone for strike 1. 0-1 your count with 2 outs. First 2 batters got out. And it was David Anderson coming home to score on the E5 that got away from Prince. Prince laid out for it. That throw is just wide left by about 8 to 10 feet. Swing and a miss. So Sullivan with 3 strikeouts here in the top of the 8th. Or we'll head to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 6.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go. Let's get to work.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
It may be winter, but it's never too early to start thinking about spring. Start your new year sharp and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer service. Schedule your spring special appointment today. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Give your home the curb appeal it deserves. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code Summit City for 15% off today.
Here in the bottom of the 8th, it's going to be Brady Harris, Matt Vollmer, and Mikhail McCowan. Vollmer swinging the hot bat. Brady Harris reached on a fielder's choice, stole a base, and scored a run there in the bottom of the 6th on the RBI single by Vollmer. Brady 1 for 3 in this game, now 3 for 10 in the series. A 3-run score. Sullivan gave up 1 hit, 1 run. It was unearned and had 3 strikeouts there in the top of the 8th. 0-1 your count. New pitcher on the bump. It's number 20, Jordan Noska, the junior from Medina, Ohio. Cuyahoga Valley Christian is where he came in from. Noska with a team best 3.06 ERA in 17.2 innings pitched. He's given up 22 hits, 10 runs, 6 of those earned, 3 walks, 14 strikeouts. Opposing hitters are batting .301 against Jordan Noska. 0-2's the count to Harris. Swing and a miss for out number 1. So that's going to bring up Tony Bova, batting for Vollmer. So we got Nagy behind the plate. Vollmer now on the bench. Bova at third with Sullivan pitching. Could be Frymuth going in to pitch in the top of the 9th. Tony swings at that first pitch into right field for out number 2. So Matt Vollmer, who is 2 for 2 in this game with an RBI, not getting to bat. That'll bring up Mikhail McCown, the leadoff batter. Vollmer entering today with a .286 batting average. 0 for 1's your count. Mikhail 1 for 4 with a run scored in this game. 0-2's your count. Mikhail 6 for 15 in the series with 5 runs scored and 4 RBI with that big home run yesterday. This ball's ripped. That'll get down for a 2-out single. For St. Francis, that's the 10th hit of the game. I'll bring up Tyler Prince. Prince in his last at bat popped out to the second baseman. McHale going to stay at first.
Oh, wow. That's so late.
Catcher Sid Elford doing a good job limiting the damage there on that ball in the dirt. 1-0 is your count.
Up!
TP.
1-0 to Prince. Beautiful pitch, just a little bit low in the zone. But we're evened up at 1.
1, 2, 3.
Prince with a big strike zone there, standing at 6'3". Jordan Noska on the bump. That ball's ripped into left center. Back-to-back singles puts runners at first and second with 2 outs. Cougars now with 11 hits. Same as Grace. Looks like we could have a pinch runner here. It's going to be David Miller in for Tyler Prince.
23 will be in.
So your batter now, Noah Frymuth. Noah 0 for 4 with a run scored in this game.
Hey, Fry move, right guy, right time. Come on, baby, all you. Confidence, Noah, this is all you, baby.
Frymuth last went hitless against Indiana Tech. That was this past Wednesday, I believe.
Oh, shit, here we go. It's a party. It's a party on my face.
Just 7 games this year, Frymuth has gone hitless.
Yeah! Yeah!
2-0 is your count. That's 7 games out of 36. Not bad.
Come on, Fry, do a job. Hey, let's go, Fry. Oh!
That's okay.
2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs. We got runners at first and second.
Oh, I can see everything.
Come on.
Oh!
Now it's evened up now at 2-2 after the foul ball.
Find a way.
Here we go, Fry. Pick me up.
David,
on,
find
Fry.
a way.
Go on, Fry. Let's go, Fry. Big hit, kid.
Gotta make sure they have to throw across. David, watch your first.
Miller at first. McCowan at second. That ball is ripped into center. Anderson underneath it for out number 3. We'll head to the top of the 9th. Xavier Harris coming to the plate. Or the pinch hitter.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream, and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
The Chapel Project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Here in the top of the ninth, we got Xavier Harris. He was pinch hit for in the last AB. In this game, 1 for 3 with 2 RBI. He had a 2 RBI single in his last at bat. That was all the way back in the 5th.
Oh, get it! Oh, this right there. Whoops.
Harris also has a strikeout in this game, up in this count 2-0. Sullivan in the top of the 8th faced 5 hitters, struck out 3 of them. Gave up a double, and then that run scored on the E5. That was David Anderson, the center fielder, scoring from second base on the E5. 3-1 now your count to Harris. Xavier Harris last year with a .233 batting average, just 1 RBI. Only had 30 at-bats last year, and he's a senior. He's safe at first. No, he's only a junior. Junior Harris at first. Xavier Harris is only a junior. Brings up Chris Griffin. He's been the Cougar killer. We got a new pitcher coming in. We'll be right back with more Cougar baseball.
Sports medicine, especially since I've been a pro, has been a place where my game has really been able to develop in multiple facets. Injury prevention, maintenance, physical therapy, weightlifting, agility work, all the things that I need to do in order to have an NBA body. This is the place for me to go when I come back home and I need to get a workout in. Always welcome me back with open arms.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. They just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
Welcome back. Your new pitcher is going to be Noah Frymuth. He pitched 1/3 of an inning in game number 2, giving up 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 strikeouts, 0 walks, just 2 pitches. Entering today, Frymuth with a 4.60 ERA and 3 saves. In 15.2 innings pitched, has given up 16 hits, 10 runs, 8 earned. 9 walks, 13 strikeouts. Opposing batters are hitting .263 against Noah. Caden Sullivan back to third. Justice Tussing out in center. Xavier Harris on first base after the E5. And we have Chris Griffin at the plate. Griffin has 2 triples in this game. 3 triples in the series. 4 triples on the season. And hit a home run in game number 2. He's trying to be the Crossroads League Offensive Player of the Week. Misses on the bunt. 0-2's your count. A lot of speed for the big man at the plate. Griffin with 4 runs scored and 4 RBI in this series. He's 3 for 3 in this game and 9 for 11 in the series. 0-2's your count to Griffin. One and 2 now. The count to Chris Griffin. Noah Frymuth, the junior pitcher. Griffin, the freshman first baseman. Griffin entering today, once again, the team best batting average at .354. He was 0 for 2 in game number 2 against Siena Heights. 0 for 1 in game number 2 against Huntington. He's had a few 0 for games, just hasn't been this series. So that'll get away from Bova at second. Looked like a single, though. Great attempt there by Bova, the sliding backhand. We'll see what the official ruling says. Either way, we got runners at first and second. For Mitchell Enyart, the third baseman, he's 0 for 4 in this game, 5 for 11 on the series. 0 outs with runners at first and second. Tyler Prince playing in. That first pitch is bunted foul. Yeah, they're going to call that a single. It's a great attempt by Bova, but that ball was smashed hard to Bova's right. Tried to backhand it. Just got away from him. The 0-1 with Prince playing at softball distance. And the runner is off with nobody covering third. That'll be a stolen base for Harris. It's the third time today. Grayson scored 2 runs with nobody covering the plate. One and one's your count. That ball sliced into right. McHale going to come up firing for third, and not in time. Xavier Harris scores on the RBI single. That's the go-ahead run, 7-6. Your score, we got runners at the corners. RBI single by the third baseman, Mitchell Enyart. That's his 5th RBI in the series. That'll bring up the catcher. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. No, it's Sid Elford, the catcher. Sid, so far in this game, is 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He's 2 for 6 with 2 runs scored in the series. Grace now with 13 hits to go with their 4 errors and 7 runs. First pitch low in the zone for strike 1. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. Frymuth has runners at the corners. Sid rips that ball down the left field line. He's got an RBI double. They're going to hold up Enyart at third. Coming home to score was Chris Griffin. 8-6 now your score. Grace on top with 14 hits. Got a courtesy runner in. Not sure if that's number 9, Jaron Mullet. Hitting for Scott's going to be number 28. Scott had been 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Number 28 is Brett Wilhelming.
Good job, Brett.
Counts evened up at 1 apiece. Wilhelm, a 111 batting average. He's 2 for 18 on the season with 2 runs scored and an RBI.
Good job, Brett. Come on, threes, relax some, babe.
Grace putting him in here in a big-time situation. He's just a freshman from Rockford, Illinois. The chopper over to Harris. Looks back the runner at third for out number 1. Brady Harris been solid all day there at short. That'll bring up number 1, R.J. Snyder. RJ 1 for 4 in this game. Singled and scored a run back in the third. 4 for 11 in the series. Down in this count 0-1. With 1 out.
Let's go, RJ.
In this game, Grace with 2 runs in the third, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the seventh, 1 in the eighth, and 2 in the ninth now. St. Francis 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 2 in the seventh. Cougs still get a chance here in the bottom of the ninth. 0-2's your count. That ball is going to get through. 2 runs going to come home to score on the 2 RBI single by R.J. Snyder. Enyart and the courtesy runner both come home to score the 4th run of this inning. 10-6 your score. Your batter is the leadoff hitter, David Anderson. 7th batter of the inning for Grace. First pitch swung on, popped up. That could be trouble. Harris cannot catch up to it. That'll be foul, though. 0-1's your count. Both Jack and Brady both charging in after it. It's a long run there for Jack. Long run for Brady as well. One out, R.J. Snyder at first. Snyder. Boy, he wanted to take off. That was a good attempt there by Frymuth. Throw just a little high. Runner's off. Nagy comes up firing. Be a stolen base by Snyder. R.J. Snyder is team leading 11th stolen base of the season. 0-2's the count. David Anderson with a double and a run scored in his last AB. That'll get away from Brady Harris as R.J. Snyder's going to come home to score. The E6. Third error of the game for St. Francis.
Let's go!
Your batter, Sam Newkirk, the freshman shortstop. Newkirk reached on an E5 in his last AB. 0 for 4 with a hit by a pitch and a run scored. Newkirk, the freshman shortstop, 2 for 12 in this series, with 3 runs scored and an RBI.
Let's go, Fry. Let's go, Fry.
Swing and a miss. Another stolen base here for Grace. 1-2's the count. It's Anderson with the stolen base.
Good, Dave.
Sullivan going to have a heck of a throw there as he catches that one foul. Sully's got a good eye for that over there at third base. Yeah, it's like they said, even if that ball was fair, then Sully threw him out at first. Sully's got a great arm there from the hot corner.
It's not like he can go back and be like, oh, it was a fair ball.
The 1-2 to Newkirk, the man at second. 2-2 your count. Big cut. Swing and a miss. Route number 2. That'll bring up the 9th batter of the inning, Houston Haney. Jinxed it. First ball in the dirt. Haney started as a DH, did some pitching. 3 for 4 in this game with a home run, 2 singles, 2 runs scored. Haney now 6 for 12, 5 RBI, 3 runs scored in this series. Upstairs, ball 3. Haney on the bump, 2 innings pitched, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, 0 of them earned, had 3 strikeouts, 0 walks. Runners at first and second now. That'll bring up Xavier Harris for the 2nd time this inning. We're now 20 minutes into the top of the 9th. We'll take a break and be right back with more Cougar Baseball.
Sports medicine, especially since I've been a pro, has been a place where my game has really been able to develop in multiple facets. Injury prevention, maintenance, physical therapy, weightlifting, agility work, all the things that I need to do in order to have an NBA body. This is the place for me to go when I come back home and I need to get a workout in. Always welcome me back with open arms.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. They just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
New pitcher for St. Francis is Kyle DeConnick. DeConnick entering today with a 6.97 ERA. In 20.2 innings pitched, he's given up 25 hits, 24 runs, only 16 of those earned. 17 walks, 17 strikeouts. Opposing hitters are batting .291. Against number 14, DeConnick, junior, lefty from Auburn, Indiana. 6'2", 195. He enters the game with 2 outs, runners at first and second. His team down by 4. Your batter, Xavier Harris. Harris started off this inning reaching first on an E5. Also had a stolen base, stealing third for Xavier Harris. Take that first pitch for strike 1. 0-1 your count with 2 outs.
Good. Attaboy, way up.
Attaboy, DK.
Way up, DK, way up. Good, oh boy, win another pitch, 1-4, oh babe.
Come on, get.
There you go, DK. Let's go, DK, here we go, babe.
Harris 1 for 4 in this game with a 2 RBI single. Just a junior, Xavier Harris.
Oh babe, 1-4, babe, 1-4.
Come on.
Attaboy, Nagy.
Cleveland! Keep pounding, 1-4, keep pounding, DK. Yeah, that's not that spot, 1-4, not that spot.
The 1-2 now from Kyle DeConnick. Harris with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Rips that ball foul.
Now, boy, DK, just keep pounding this on 1-4 and win it, baby. No one better.
Here we go, DK. Let's go, babe.
That ball ripped up the gut. Looks like that just hit the glove of Harris. Goes to third with it. 1 run going to come home. It's an RBI single by Harris. Actually run out of spaces on my scorebook.
Here we go, DK.
That'll bring the plate Chris Griffin.
Good, up boy, good pitch.
Up boy, DK.
First pitch is a swing and a miss to Griffin. Griffin with 2 triples here in this game. Both of them were ripped to right field. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. Griffin 4 for 4 with a walk, a run and an RBI.
Obey DK, 1 pitch away.
In his first at bat this inning, Griffin ripped it to second base. Just popped out of the glove of Bova. It was a single. Bova did a good job getting to it, hit up the gut, backhanded it. Just the force of the ball just popped out of his mitt.
Hey, go right back in here, baby. Walk right back in, on base. Go right at him, baby.
3-1 your count.
We said 1-4 home base. Go right at him. Go right at him. Good.
Chris drills that one to left field, and it is gone. A 3-run home run. And, folks, that should solidify it. That kid is going to be the Crossroads League Offensive Player of the Week. Wow. 3-run home run for Chris Griffin to go along with 2 triples. I've already ran out of space on my score book. just making up stuff now. Brings up Mitchell Enright.
Right back in here, 1-4.
We good?
Hey, stay within. Come on now. Stay within, D.
Enright had a RBI single and scored a run in his last at-bat. 1 for 5 in this game. 1-1's your count.
Work now, work.
Good, up boy.
Up boy, DK.
Go get him, go get him. Come on, D.
1-2 now.
Let's go, DK. It's your guy here, 1-4. Let's go. He's yours. Pitch, good pitch. One another pitch, DK, keep pounding.
Let's go, DK here. Here you go, man. Let's go.
Get a guy, get a guy. All you, all you. Hey, keep pounding, DK. Win it, win it.
Here we go, babe. Come on now.
DK, be here 1-4, no one better.
Griffin now has 7 RBI in the series. So it should be 10 RBI in the week.
Hey, keep pounding the zone, DK. When you be here.
But 3 triples and 2 home runs? A little ridiculous.
Come on, man.
That's just today.
Hey, keep pounding, DK. You're better than him. I'm at 1-4.
1-2's your count.
Good, up boy.
Big swing and a miss. For out number 3. Cougs coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Down by 9.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Craw.
Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Gibson. Shot scores.
The rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
Okay, Jack, you lead up, man, now.
Leading off here for the Cougs is going to be Jack Harris. Jack 2 for 4 in this game with an RBI and a run scored. Leadoff man aboard after Jack gets hit by a pitch. Still pitching, number 20, Jordan Noska. Solly follows that up with a single. Runners at first and second with 0 outs.
They're in Kevin's pocket. I'm down. Go, Nagy. Let's go, kid.
Your batters now, Jacob Nagy, the catcher. First pitch low and in. 1-0 is your count.
I'm bad. Working hard here, Nag. Working hard here. Come on, man. What do you think?
Hey, good job, showing up.
Let's go, Nags. Here we go, babe. Come on, kid. Here we go, buddy.
Nagy down the count 1-2. To the pitcher, Jordan Noska. Gets him swinging for out number 1.
Pick him up 1-7. Pick him up, babe.
Noska, that'll be his second strikeout of the game.
Here we go, Justice. Let's go, babe.
Brings up Justice Tussing. Starting second baseman. Had a single back in the 4th. 1 for 4 in this game.
1-7. 1-7. You're on it, babe. 1-7. Let's go, kid. Here you go, Todd. Come on, Justice. Come now, kid. Come on, kid. Come on, kid.
Go, Tuss.
Go, Tuss.
You go 1-7. Nothing, Jackie.
Good boy. Get back, kid. Here we go, 1-7. Let's go, babe.
Counts evened up at 1 apiece.
Let's go, kid. Come on, Tuss. Come on, 1-7.
Tussing starting at second, getting some play out in center field. Chopper goes foul. 1-2 is your count.
Right there, bro. You got the guy.
Go, Tuss.
Good eye. Ball low in the dirt. Both runners advance on the wild pitch.
Good job, kid. I'm now. Keep working. I'm 1-7. I'm bad. Keep us rolling, babe. I'm bad. Yeah!
Tussing drills that ball into right field. 2 runs. Well, at least 1 run comes home to score. Thrown out is Sullivan at the plate on the 9-2. Jack Harris does come home to score. RBI single by Tussing. That'll bring up Brady Harris. Two outs.
Go, Brady.
All right, go. Man. Come on, Brady. Here we go, Brady. Let's go 2-0.
1-1, your count with 2 outs. Gets him looking for strike number 3. Grace sweeps the series 3-0 and wins game number 3, 15-17. Folks, thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of the weekend.